Neil Haley Show, and I have an unbelievable guests today. I was just shocked when I heard I had the opportunity to interview them. They're going to be performing in Moundsville today, so I'm excited to welcome Leonard, Coleman, and Blunt. Yes, thanks for coming to the studio, guys. You have, I just am amazed in your careers. You talk about the Temptations, the Drifters, and also the Platters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a lot of history, but when we were talking off air, you guys told me that you knew each other very early, right?
Yeah, well, we grew up in this industry together. Mm-hmm. We started in the music industry as teenagers. Yeah. And, you know, wanted to sing and perform and, you know, all that stuff. And we've been, collectively, we've been in maybe 4 or 5 groups.
Okay.
Different ones of us together.
Gotcha.
The 3 of us have been in 2 groups together, a group called True Reflections. We were on Atlantic Records. And this group, Leonard, Coleman, and Blunt.
Very, very interesting. And so how did you guys pop into different groups? So you can tell me a little bit about the story once you got started in the music and where you ended up going to, yeah.
Well, actually, it's an interesting story. We were working with Tony Sylvester and Bert DiCato from Main Ingredient.
Yeah.
Bert was producing the Main Ingredient, and they were producing some stuff on us as True Reflection on Atlantic Records. Tony played one of the songs for Otis. Otis Williams. Who is that guy? Who's that first tenor? And at the time, Glenn was up in Canada running around.
Well, all of us were up in Canada. Tell the story, right?
Yeah, let's hear about that, yeah.
So we tracked him down there, and he contacted Otis, and off he went to the out to L.A. to see what was happening. They loved him, of course, and he's been through almost 10 years with the group.
Yeah.
So that's how that started. They heard his voice and wanted to know how to get to him. So.
Consequently, it almost didn't happen.
Really?
Because when Tony, you know how producers and writers do, man, let me let you hear my latest stuff.
Exactly.
That was when Otis said, who is that? Who is the tenor? And Tony said, you can't get him. We got him locked down.
Oh, wow. And this is when you're in Canada, right?
Yeah, we were in Canada. That was where our tour ended. And we won the contract.
To Toronto.
And we were in Toronto, Canada. Mm-hmm. And, if you know anything about my story, everybody, particularly in Washington, D.C., know that I was a Temptation fanatic.
Oh, really?
As a matter of fact, one of the groups that we were in, a guy named Freddie Perrin, who produced Gloria Gaynor, the Jacksons, a bunch of people. Freddie Perrin started us. He was the one that groomed us.
Oh, wow.
Taught us how to blend and, how to do acapella stuff, all that kind of stuff. And Freddie used to tell the guys, said, y'all kind of keep your eye on Glenn, because he really thinks he's a Temptation. He thinks he's going to sing with the Temptations one day. Because I went around telling everybody, one day, I'm going to sing with that group.
Wow.
And there's a message in that.
Right.
Watch what you ask for. It just might come to pass, right?
So you 3 are together at this point when you're asked to go to join the Temptations?
Yeah, we were actually taking a little break or what have you. We were scheduled for a single to be released on Atlantic. And I think we got bumped for the Isley Brothers. Yeah, right. It was an It's Your Thing.
Okay.
The nerve of them, huh?
Definitely.
And so we had a little time. The guys decided to go back to D.C. I stayed in Toronto. And that was when I got the call. Joe Blunt, I think both of them called me, but I remember Joe calling.
Yeah, I told Joe called
Okay.
I know we got to get to you.
So Joe calls me and tells me that, man, you ain't going to believe this.
Okay.
He said, Tony let Otis hear some of the stuff. And Otis wanted to know where you were. And I said, well, did y'all tell him? So I got on the phone, with Tony, and I begged him a little bit. I said, man, we don't know. At the time, we really didn't know which way we were going to go.
Okay.
We were a little disappointed because.
What year was it?
What year was that? 70?
Yeah,
74,
okay.
somewhere around there. We were a little bit discouraged because we got bumped. We were young. We were wanting our record out, and when they push you back, in major record companies, it could be a year or two.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so that everybody decided we didn't have no more. Our tour was ending in Canada. They decided to go back. I knew some people up there, so I said, "Well,
Right.
I'm staying up here."
Oh my. Okay.
And,
so trying a singles career and saying goodbye, guys. That's pretty much it.
Well, I think, you know, again, all of us knew each other. We grew up
Yeah.
together. They knew how I felt about the Temptations.
Okay, okay.
And I really appreciate the fact that they didn't stand in the way.
Yeah, oh, that's good. Yeah.
And one other little piece to that is we had like terrible management.
Oh,
Well, isn't there always terrible management?
We had,
especially when you start off.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, you know. and
Sometimes even when you make it.
So we were on fumes anyway, you know.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
had a great opportunity, take it, you know, go and do your thing. Yeah.
And so then that's it. So you get
Well, I get on the phone. I beg Tony, please,
Right.
man, just let me talk to him. Let me have this shot.
exactly.
So Tony, you know, came to my rescue and talked to Atlantic and whatnot, and gave me Otis's number. So I called Otis, and I told him who I was. He says, "Oh, okay." He says, "We like your voice. We want to check you out." So I said, "Well, here I am." So they sent for me to come to California.
Right.
And they were actually holding auditions at the time. I think that Eddie had been gone maybe not quite a year. They had tried several tenors
All right.
and hadn't really landed anybody
All right.
that was was what they
Right.
were looking for. So Otis said, "Well, tell you what, we're gonna send you a round trip ticket." I said, "Make it one way." He said, "Oh, it's like that, huh?" I said, "Well, no." I said, "You know, if I get to California,
Yeah.
I can make it. If y'all don't want me, I'm gonna stay in California. I can make it." And so I went to California with my little duffel bag with 2 changes in it.
Okay. Okay.
And interesting story, and I won't take too much time.
That's why we have 30 minutes, right?
Okay. Melvin Franklin's mother was a church lady, spiritual.
Okay. Okay.
She saw me in a dream and described me when Melvin told his mom, we found somebody.
Okay.
His mother got back to him and says, "Well, I saw him." She described everything I had on,
Oh my.
the
Okay.
coat,
Okay.
the hat.
Okay. Okay.
And so I'm coming down the escalator at LAX, and I'm nervous. I'm scared. You know,
Yes.
I'm getting ready to meet my idols. you
Yeah.
know,
To
so-
be Temptations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Melvin looks up and says, "There he is." And they all looked up and they recognized that I had on what Melvin's mother had told him. So the looks kind of got like, I'm like, "Oh God, they don't like me." they don't like the way I look. So I didn't say anything. I just kept my mouth shut.
Right.
And we get in the car. Nobody said a word. We get in the car.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
they started singing.
So say, you have to start singing too.
So I jumped right in.
Yeah.
I knew my parts. They didn't know I had.
So what were you singing? What were you singing?
I think it was The Way You Do This. No, it wasn't. It was one of the My Girl.
Okay, so-
Ain't Too Proud to Beg.
Okay.
But I knew my part. I knew what the tenor parts were. So when the harmonies came,
So
in,
kind of define the tenor part. What's tenor mean? So
first tenor, "Hi boys."
okay. Okay. Okay.
So when the background part came in, I jumped right in. So they kind of looked at each other. Nobody still said nothing. Nobody said one word to me. So we get to the house, and they had about 50 other guys sitting there waiting. So Melvin says, "Well, the audition, we're going to close the audition
Okay.
down." I'm like, "Let the guys, you know, they came all this
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
I know how I feel. They came all this way."
Exactly. Exactly.
I said, "Now I know I got the spot, right?" He said, "Yeah, you got it." I said, "Well, let them audition." You know, they came all this
Yeah.
way. And so that's, in essence, how it happened.
Wow. Okay, so we got to find out what happens to you two. I'm going to go back to you, but let's now tell the story. What are you doing when he finds out he joins the Temptations? What do you think?
Again, we were kind of in D.C. We weren't doing much.
You're just so you're calling him saying, yeah, seeing how he's doing, and you're like, oh my.
Yeah.
But
we were freaking out. We thought it was fantastic.
yeah, absolutely, because
You know what's interesting though?
Yeah.
You know, and we talk about this from time to time. What's interesting is, since we've been together as a group for a number of years,
right.
a lot of people that don't understand the business, that knew us as a group,
Right.
Yeah.
were sorely disappointed in Glenn
Oh.
following his dream.
They
How could
raked
you
me
leave
over
the
the coals.
guys.
Oh no.
My hometown.
Yeah.
Really?
He left his buddies. He left his boys in the
And we said,
dust.
no, what was he supposed to do? Hang out with us?
Right.
So they weren't making no money.
They're hanging out in D.C.
Yeah.
telling stories
Yeah.
about, hey, Leonard's made it. What are we gonna? What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
So what did you? Who was first to get the next break out of you two?
Joe Blunt was, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
You know, about a year
Right.
Tell you
after
how the Lord
Glenn
works.
got
Keep
with the
going.
Temptations, they were performing in Europe, in England, I believe, and ran into this old group called the Drifters over there.
Okay.
And found out that the Drifters at that time were looking for a replacement for someone who had just recently left to pursue a solo
Right.
career. And Glenn said, well, I know a guy in D.C. that would be perfect for you guys. You know?
Okay.
So next thing I know, a day or so later, I get a call from the Drifters manager. And at first I thought it was a crank call. And I said, she identified herself as a Drifters manager. I said, yeah, right. And what do you want? And she explained to me that she had met Glenn in England with the group and wanted me to come and audition for the Drifters.
Wow.
And that was, you know, it was amazing, first of all, that it turned out the way that it did. And of course, I went to New York, got with the group, and went over a few things. And next thing I know, I'm on the road with the Drifters. And at that time, the group was having an enormous run in England, particularly in Europe. They were still doing things in the States, but Europe had become a very, very strong market for them, record-wise as well.
Right.
And so we had quite a run there. And I had the opportunity to sing along with some folks that I had idolized when I was growing up as well.
yeah.
Benny King and Johnny Moore, one of the originals. So it was quite an experience.
So you're left in D.C. now.
Well, I'm left in D.C.
So what happens with you?
So what happened to me? Well, that's an interesting. I was looking around for what it is I could do. Even went straight for a minute, as I call it. Got a job with GTE as a operations manager or something of that nature. I never did know what that what it meant. And in the interim, I got together with my brother who sang with a group called the Persuaders, Thin Line Between Love and Hate.
Okay.
Sang with and his buddy Richard Gant, who also sang with Persuaders.
Okay.
And we formed a group called Mirage.
Oh.
Yeah, and we were signed. Yeah, we were signed to RCA Records.
Okay.
Records. Back to management. That we did all this great product. Went to Philly, got the TSOP guys and all that, and some New York cats, and the music was really lovely, lovely.
Oh.
The A&R guy at RCA hated our manager.
Oh no.
Hated him. Put him out of the studio. Wouldn't let him. Barred him from the studio. Would not let him come in the studio. And as a result of not wanting to do anything that would benefit this guy,
Right.
our CD went in file 13 effectively. You know, our album, by the way, wasn't a CD. Wasn't a CD yet. We weren't there. It was still albums. But yeah, so that went south on us. And, you know, great product, I think, but it never saw the light of day. Probably 10 people heard it, and most of those, 8 of those were my family members.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so I moved to New York.
Right.
From D.C. I moved to New York. I said, well, if Muhammad went to the mountain, I guess I've got to run up there myself, see what's going on. And in the process, I met a young lady who was a lounge singer in Atlantic City. She says, Joe, I was hanging out and some guys from the Drifters told me that the Platters were looking for a new lead singer. And so gave me the guy's number. I called him up, went down to Midtown, New York, auditioned, singing, and the piano player stopped like this. Says, "Hey, you Willie's brother." Talking about my brother. yeah, you know my brother. So and off I went with the Platters, and
Wow.
did a nice little piece of the world and all of that, and, yeah.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Well, we're going to take a break and lead into your newest song that's going to come on, and you can talk a little bit about that at the end of the show. But the story, I wanted to hear how you all made it, then kind of some of those, one story from each one, and how then you got back together again and toured, and what an unbelievable story.
Yeah.
So you're watching the Neil Haley Show with Leonard Coleman and Blunt, and we'll be back in just a moment.
I've shown an interest in making home movies. Me and some buddies would just grab a camera and you just start making these videos, and then you realize at some point that this isn't just a hobby anymore, it's something that you actually want to pursue, and there's this great facility right down the road, BPTV. A lot of people will try to do these productions on their own, and one of the things they don't have is the equipment, but right here is everything that you need in one nice little bundle. There's lights, cameras, reflectors, dollies, all kinds of little knickknacks, like anything that you'd want to use that you would need for a production, you have it right here, like it's all right here. You can make your own feature movie just with the stuff from this studio. Come meet Dave Cable, let him show you around, and I think you'll realize that this is something that you could fall into regardless of your level of expertise, whether you're a beginner or even if you're a more advanced learner. There's something here for everyone, and I feel that you just need to come through and just be a part of the experience and just watch and learn, and let Dave be your guide.
We're back to the Neil Haley Show with Leonard Coleman and Blunt, and we've heard 3 amazing stories. And I could do an interview with you for an hour. I could do an interview with you an hour, and you an hour. We just don't have the time. You're going to be heading out to Moundsville, West Virginia, perform tonight, and then you're going to be all over the place. So you're going to have to tell our viewers and listeners how to find you to say, hey, where can we see you live? For sure. But now every one of you made it. Now with the Temptations, because now what would you rank those 3 groups? Now, the Platters, the Drifters, and the Temptations in that time period, or at certain points?
Well, in their own period, each of those groups were the top of the cream of the crop.
Okay.
You're talking about 3 of the most highly successful, professional groups of all time. And I mean, when you look, when you live in the story, you're not exactly looking over your shoulder and watching everything that's happening.
Yeah.
You're struggling. You're trying to make it.
Yeah, exactly.
And as destiny would have it, your course lays out. It unfolds.
Yes.
You look back and you say to yourself, "Wow."
Yeah.
You can't believe it yourself.
Yeah.
And after we all had our initial run,
right?
With those groups. I left the Temptations in '83.
Okay.
It was time. It was time to go. We had just finished the reunion tour.
Okay.
That was the highlight of their career, actually, aside from the early days when they had the big. Yeah. And after that, Eddie was going on and do his thing. Everybody got a little boost from the reunion.
Yeah.
David was going on and do his thing. And the pace was such that my kids were growing up.
Yeah.
And they'd see me on TV and they say, "Mommy, who is that?"
Yeah.
That makes you feel bad.
That really makes you feel bad. Because all the traveling you did when you were away from your kids, that's hard.
Yeah. And it's entertainment can be hard.
Right.
It can be hard on family life. It can be hard on a marriage. So after that, I took a couple years off.
Right.
I just wanted to do nothing. During that period of time was when I got saved.
Oh, okay, okay.
Got born again, spirit
Oh,
filled,
wow.
and all of that.
Okay.
I was just hungry for the word, and entertainment. There are a lot of trappings.
Yes.
There are a lot of things that go on in the industry.
We see it all the time. Yes.
At some point, you need a break away from everything.
So you go into a different type of music.
Well, not just that, but to give yourself a chance to breathe.
Yes.
It
seems like you guys
and assess your life and
Right.
where you're going. We all start out in church.
Okay.
I grew up hating church,
Okay.
but I had to go.
Right.
And I used to tell my family, as soon as I get old enough, I'm leaving. I ain't never going back to church.
Geez.
Well, what's the first thing happened when I left the group? I got
Got
saved.
Yeah.
I got back in church and became hungry for the word. I'm licensed, ordained. I have a doctorate in theology and the arts.
Okay.
So I spent some time in ministry, but I knew I was going back. God gives you a platform
Yes.
to reach the world.
Right.
Go ye into all the world.
Right.
So I knew I was going to have to go back.
Right.
I didn't want to go back and have to meet new people
Yes.
and learn them.
Yes.
We all started out in this industry together. So
Yeah.
after some years in the ministry, pastoring and all that kind of stuff, I started worrying Joe.
Yeah.
Hey man, what you doing? Oh man, I got this going, I got that going. I said, you know what? We ought to do something. And so I bugged him and bugged him.
Right.
And I called Joe Blood and bugged him. And at the time I was living in Houston. That was the last place I was living when I was involved in ministry. So I went back to D.C. and I left. That was what, 35 years later?
Yeah.
And I figured, okay, we started out together.
Yes.
This whole thing has come full
Right.
circle.
Right.
So boom, here we are.
All right. So your story of he gave a great story about of being on the all-time high of temptations to finding our Lord, and then that changed everything, which has led you guys back. But now your story of leaving the group and that kind of thing.
Well, let me see. Leaving the group. I didn't leave the group until 2004. I'm the last one to get in and the last one to get out. Perspective. I mean, just for some balance. Joe and I have known each other since we were probably 5 or 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah, okay.
His mother and my mother were directors of the
Okay.
junior choir, of which we were automatically members. My mother, I came home from school one day, and my mother yells downstairs, "Joey, it's time to get ready for choir rehearsal." I said, "Choir rehearsal? I'm not in the choir." She said, "Oh, I didn't tell you? You're in the choir." And so that's where we met.
Okay.
And his mother and my mother were co-directors of the choir, taught us the harmony and all this kind of things like that. And off we went to that piece. And I ran into Glenn in Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was.
He was at the Sahara.
With the Plotters.
I was at the Lady Luck.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So we hadn't seen each other for quite a few years.
What,
really.
20-some years? Yeah.
By that
Wow.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's when the spark of maybe at some point
Getting back together.
doing
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And I moved from New York. Well, I didn't exactly move. I still live in New York, but I got married and moved to D.C.
Okay.
to part time to hang with my lovely wife, Vanessa, and he was still in Houston. We started talking on the phone from time to time. And he said, "I said, I've been talking to Joe a little bit about maybe doing." He said, "Well, you're not gonna do nothing without me."
Okay.
I dare you.
So you had the music bug.
You doing what? Yeah. So just brought him back, flew him back to D.C. and that's been about 6 or 7 years. 6 years.
6 years ago.
6 years ago.
Oh wow. And when did you leave the group, for your group too?
I left the Drifters 1985.
85. Okay.
Yeah. It was time.
Okay.
We were having some issues with management.
Oh, okay.
That often happens in this business, and it was just time to do something different.
Right.
And once the time came, I decided it was time to move on. So I
Now,
left that altogether.
your music, again, at times in the U.S. it wasn't as popular, so Europe became a really big place for you guys in different times of your careers, right? Wouldn't you agree? The popularity to the point of the thing that they wanted you in Europe even more than the U.S. They still liked you a lot, but in
Yeah,
Europe.
well,
yeah,
you know,
you're-
here's the thing. In the U.S., the U.S. is spoiled.
yes.
It's okay, y'all. Be
Okay.
nice. Be nice. Put your rocks away. We get so much music here.
Right.
You know, it's interesting because even right now, some of the earlier hits are still popular.
Yes.
Over in places like Europe and Asia.
That's right, yes, you said that, yeah.
So so it was, you know, it was like your career starting all over.
Yeah,
again,
exactly.
you know? So.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us about the latest song and then where you guys are going to be touring.
Well, you know, we're veterans in this business.
Yeah.
We've been here a minute.
Yeah.
And you know, we want to make our mark together.
Okay.
We started out together. We want to wrap it up
Okay.
together.
Okay.
So it's our time to shine.
Okay.
That's the name of the song.
It's our time to shine. Okay. Can you play? Can I put you on the spot and play? Sing? Would you sing for me?
Well, sing the song?
Yeah.
We
You know that song? I've had the Wiggles sing on my show. I've had Judy Tenuta. I've had certain other stars sing. If you don't have to. I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah. No, we don't want to sing it. We want you to play it.
I'll play it. Yeah. Can you sing a bar of something for us?
It was just my imagination running away with me. It's low. It was just my imagination running away.
Fantastic. I am sorry to put you on the spot. You see me walk into the studio and say, who is this guy?
Singers are just getting out of the bed this time of day. You know that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
No singer
We
gets
operate
up
on
before
the other
noon.
end of the clock.
Really?
Yeah.
I interviewed Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks doesn't get up to 1 or 2.
Yeah, I mean,
see,
well, because most of your work is at night.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
So yeah, you become nocturnal.
and then, but what about sleeping wise on the road and stuff like that? That's a situation where it really wears on you, right?
Well, yeah, it can, and that's the thing. You have to plan your tours so that you get the proper rest. If not, this business will beat you up.
Yeah.
It'll wear your body out, wear your voice
Right.
out, you know, wear you out mentally,
Right.
you know, and all of that. So, yeah.
All right, best place we can find information on you guys. Best place to go.
Well, we're on Facebook.
Okay.
There's Leonard Coleman and Blunt, or LCB. We have a website, LeonardColemanandBlunt.com. You can grab all photos and bios and all that kind of thing. We're doing good.
I'm waiting to all of you guys write a book. Is that coming?
Yeah, that's in the work. I'm working on one. I've been working on it for a few years
I think
now.
it's a challenge and a process, but it's something that
Yeah.
wow, the
Yeah.
stories you guys have
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And so thanks again for
Thank you,
stopping
Neil.
by.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Our
it,
pleasure.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Okay.
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, for sure. And just again, we're gonna play the song. It's available, and that's available at the website and all those different places, right?
Yeah.
Pick up the song
Yeah.
and all that
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
and all your tour dates. So you
Yes.
said you're in Moundsville tonight, but then where else are you gonna be?
We're going to be in Marksville tomorrow night. We'll
Yeah.
be in Marksville, North Carolina. Next week we're going down to
Florida, I think.
Florida, down to Jupiter, Florida, down
Holy cow.
that way, and you know, all over the place. Just kind of moving around, man.
Yeah.
All the
Keep
kids are
it
grown
going.
now. It's time
Yeah.
to just keep traveling and have fun and just keep singing.
It's
Yep.
our time.
Yeah.
It's our time
To shine.
It's our time to shine. Well, thanks again for watching the Neil Haley Show, guys. Take care, and we'll see you next week.
Then let you go. I bit my tongue till you could talk. Lifted you up.